Hey guys, it's Brent. It's been a while since I've done a collection update. Felt like doing one, so let's get into it. First thing I'd like to show is a CD single for Radiohead's No Surprises. This is going to be a great addition to my collection. This has the great B-side, How I Won My Millions. Song, if you haven't heard it, check out. It's great. Second CD I'd like to show you is the CD single for Slow Burn by David Bowie, and this, of course, is from his Heathen album. This also includes another great B-side, much like the Radiohead. This one is called Shadow Man. It's a song I suggest you check out. I'm going to show you really quickly the track listing, but I don't want you to get too much of the glare from the CD. And a group that I've loved and looked for a long time is a group called Anglagard, and I finally found their album Epilogue for a decent price. Their stuff is really, really hard to come by, so if you do find it, grab it. I absolutely love that front cover. Of course, all the titles are in Sweden, or Swedish, because they're from Sweden. Great, great instrumental, harkens back to, classic prog, yes, ELP from the early days. Great, great stuff. Another one I've been looking for a while is Blackfield 4. Of course, this is one of Steven Wilson's many albums. This included it was a decent song. It was called Jupiter. It's on this album. That's Blackfield 4. And a group that I've just gotten into, and of course this is their debut album, Lifesigns. I've only listened to it a handful of times, but man, I'm hearing a lot of early Yes, and just some great musicianship, some great lyric writing, and just great songwriting in general. Really in love with a song called Telephone. So yes, that's Lifesigns' debut album. And I know you people are probably going to not believe this, but this is my first Anathema, or Anathema, whatever you want to pronounce it. I've heard a lot of their songs just from, watching them on YouTube, but I finally took the plunge. I can't tell you how much I've actually enjoyed this album. I think it's right up there with the modern classics, and I think it will be known in the future to hold that kind of pedigree. It's very good. I'd like to know what everybody else thinks of this as well. All right, now it's time for the vinyl. This, of course, came out earlier this year, and this is Steven Wilson's The Future Bites. A decent album. It's not really progressive in the sense prog rock, but I think it's, good progressive 80s synth. I like it. And I guess that's all that really matters. I love the song King Ghost especially, and Count of Unease is great as well. Man and the People is really good as well as is 12 Things I Forgot. Great stuff. And of course, this is the Behemoth Transatlantics, the Ultimate Edition, the Absolute Universe album, signed by Mr. Neil Morris there. And there's the track listing of the two different albums. Great album, great return to form. I was so pleased to get this when it finally came because it seemed to take forever. And this, of course, is King Crimson's Beat. I have everything's last 3 albums, which I guess I'll get eventually, but I found this actually pretty cheap. I think I found it for about $8. The album is in pristine condition. The jacket's a little warm, but it's a great addition to the King Crimson collection. And here's another addition to my Gentle Giant collection, and of course this is their great live album, titled The Official Live. No, it's Playing the Fool. I played myself as the fool. I get it. Anyways, this album is one of the best recorded live albums I've ever heard. The musicianship is so tight. These guys are just amazing musicians. So if you see this one, I urge you to pick it up, most definitely. Next one is an Emerson, Lake and Palmer live album that I didn't even know existed until I saw it, and I picked it up. It was pretty cheap as well. And there's the track listing on the back. Nothing really special, but another great addition to the Emerson and Lake and Palmer collection as well. Now, there's a musician, singer, songwriter, folk artist by the name of Gregory Isaackoff that I've really gotten into over the last couple of years. And I went and bought 3 more of his albums, and this is his album called The Sea the Gambler. Oh, this is great stuff. All these albums are, perfect albums to, put on late at night, or if you just want quiet surroundings. It's like an old friend, but wow. Emotionally charged music for sure. And this is called The Weatherman. This is another great album. This is probably the one out of the 3 that I'm going to show that you guys should pick up. Great thing. Just like an old friend, like I said. You won't be disappointed. And the last one I have is called Evening Machines. That's kind of a neat cover. I've always liked that one. And of course, are all the titles. Great stuff. Great stuff. Make sure you check this guy out. And lastly but leastly, we're winding down here. This is Earthbound by King Crimson. Yes, this is the not so great live album that everybody seems to diss. I can see why. It's not the best recorded, but it's a great part of the collection, and I like to listen to it because it gives you kind of a time capsule of what they sounded like way back in the early days of the group. Great stuff. This, of course, is Merlion's Reel to Reel. First time I've actually owned this. There's 6 songs on it, all live. Decent recording. Nothing real special, but as a kind of a completist, it's something else I needed to add to my collection, so therefore I bought it. And finally, Overture by Kansas. I have never owned this. I'm familiar with it. I think my dad had the cassette or something back in the day and played it a lot, so I was very familiar with it. Of course, it has the great big hit, Carry On Wayward Son. Great progressive rock. And finally, I got a couple Eloy albums. Really hard to find Eloy is on vinyl, but I finally found one. This, of course, is Time to Turn. And it is a German pressing. Sounds magnificent. And last we have, I believe it is their second album. This, of course, is called Inside. Kind of a neat cover there. Now, this is pretty worn. I got it pretty cheap because some assholes decided to sign the back of it. And I'm not sure why. Interesting, though, eh? Anyways, it makes for an interesting conversation piece. Great album. It's a little rough sounding, like I said, but overall, I'm not going to put it back. I do enjoy it, and it's good to have in my collection. Well, thanks again, friends, and we'll talk to you soon. Good night. Bye.